He's coming after my family.
You deserve this.
We need to be ready.
Most people think of Cape Fear and picture Robert De Niro. Tattoos, cigar, pure menace. But this story runs deeper than that. It began as The Executioners by John D. MacDonald, then hit the screen in 1962 starring Gregory, Peck, and Robert Mitchum, before Martin Scorsese reimagined it in 1991, the same year it went toe-to-toe with A Silence of the Lambs at the Oscars. Now, decades later, it's resurfacing again, this time as a 10-episode series led by Nick Antosca, best known for Channel Zero, with Scorsese and Steven Spielberg backing it. Hold on for a moment, I'll be right back. A sneak peek from Apple TV Plus already hints at a darker, more personal clash, Cady and Mrs. Bowden face to face. So how different is this new Cape Fear going to be? Without any further delay, let's take a look at this modern reimagining.
Do we deserve all this? Do we deserve all this?
Before I get into the fresh new aspects we are about to see, which according to Deadline will have a Hitchcockian vibe, here's something really interesting about how this whole thing even came together. The series actually started with Nick Antosca, who, fun fact, has been a fan of both Cape Fear movies since he was a kid, and instead of just rewatching them like the rest of us, he went ahead and pitched the idea for a full-blown adaptation. Pretty casual, huh? He developed the project under his deal with Universal Content Productions along with Amblin Television, and by November 2023, the show was officially in development and looking for a home. A few months later, in April 2024, Apple TV Plus stepped in and things started moving fast. By November, the series got its official green light, and Bowden was cast as Max Cady. I was sold at that casting alone. Bowden definitely knows how to play a menacing guy, and we can absolutely trust him thanks to No Country for Old Men and Skyfall. Then in early 2025, the cast just kept getting stronger. Amy Adams and Patrick Wilson joined in February to play Mrs. Anna and Mr. Tom Bowden in this version. Wilson has said in an interview with Collider that Javier is a much different actor from Mr. De Niro, so he's imbued Max Cady. What that brings to the backstory, what we've done with Amy's character, she's Anna Bowden in our show, and I'm Tom Bowden. It's expanded the world. Around the same time, Morton Tildum came on board to direct the pilot and executive produce, which is a huge deal considering his track record and his success with Silo. And it didn't stop there. By May, the cast expanded even more with names like Anna Baryshnikov, Jamie Hector, and Lily Collius. Baryshnikov is another name that got me really excited, best known for her roles in Love Lies Bleeding, Dickinson, and Manchester by the Sea. She's been building a seriously solid filmography. She recently starred in and executive produced Idiotka, which premiered at SXSW, and is currently working on the psychological horror Sender. Hector, too, is an impressive addition, best known for Bosch and Bosch Legacy. He's also popped in shows like We Own This City, Wu-Tang, An American Saga, The Strain, and The Wire. On the film side, you might have seen him in Vacation Friends 2, The Listener, and All Eyes on Me. So yeah, when those names popped into cast, I knew this show was going to be a different ballgame. Then in September, Ron Perlman, Ted Levine, Jason Scott Morgan, and Margarita Laviva joined the lineup, with Laviva stepping in to replace Clara Wong in a supporting role. By October, Patrick Fischler was added in a recurring role. Filming kicked off in Atlanta on April 30, 2025 and wrapped up by October 15th the same year. So yeah, this is going to be a full-scale, carefully built project with some serious talent behind it. Patrick has further revealed that just like Scorsese's film expanded from J. Lee Thompson's version, the new series will also be evolving in its own right. There will be a lot of stuff drawn from the book that might have been previously skipped or watered down, as well as new elements that use the past projects as reference. To quote him, "Cinematically, we're learning a lot of Scorsese-type stuff, real nods to that film, but it's an expanded world. That's what's so great about that, not to sound like an executive, but the IP is that it comes from a book, then a movie, and then 30 years later another movie, and now 30 years later a TV show. New characters, new storylines. Ever since we got these bits and pieces of information, our hearts have been filled with anticipation. And now, finally, the teaser for the new Cape Fear series has dropped. It shows the Bowden couple, whose first names have been changed into this adaptation, as I mentioned, living a happily married life that is no less than a dream. But one question lingers. Did they deserve this? Soon their worst fear barges in from the shadows, and the clock ticking in the background tells you what an insane adrenaline ride this is going to be. In Nick's version, Cady's hatred and anger are not just directed at Mr. Bowden, while his family is collateral damage. Rather, we get to see Amy playing a happy wife and mom, who also happens to be a lawyer. As it turns out, it was the couple who put Cady behind bars years ago. Yes, this is a huge change. No version of Cape Fear has made Bowden's wife an active counterpart in the story. As a result, Cady now has one thing in mind: to seek revenge. The teaser hints at a theory that Cady was sent to the darkest prison on Earth either due to a system that failed him or due to his lawyers bending the truth, thus completely changing the idea on which the earlier movies were based. The new show aims to sow seeds of doubt about the extent and use of legal authority and how prison life can completely change a man. Bowden is seen in his most brutal form, with a shaved head and a smile that would give a psychiatrist a run for his money. Of course, his buffed up body and marks on the skin lean towards the idea that Cady has totally changed his persona and agenda while being cooped up. Cady steps in with a chilling response to Anna's doubts about whether they deserve this luxurious suburban life, simply saying, "You deserve this," before leaving a trail of chaos behind and implying that all they are worthy of is chaos and pain. "I had a good life once too," Max says in the video while he is hunting the pair, and that right there tells you everything you need to know. We are not walking into the same old Max Cady. This time, he feels far more dangerous and deranged because his sense of loss runs much deeper. And the tattoos on his body have been altered too. Instead of De Niro's iconic Truth and Justice tattooed on the back, Bowden's Cady has lost and passed on his knuckles, which indicates that this is a man completely consumed by what he's lost and the life he believes was taken from him, and now he wants to make sure the people he blames lose everything too. And then there's the back tattoo, a massive Grim Reaper holding a sight. Yeah, subtlety is clearly not the goal here. It perfectly shows what this version of Cady is supposed to be: a walking symbol of death and dread. Maybe this time we might even see that the lawyer duo did something for their own advantage, something that set all of this into motion. In a later moment, Anna wonders out loud to her husband, "Is there any way Max could know about what we did?" And suddenly it's not only about survival anymore, it's about guilt and the possibility that the Bowdens might not be as clean as they appear. The 1 minute 38 seconds of mayhem released officially by Apple TV Plus makes it clear that when Antosca described his Cape Fear as a nightmare remix of past adaptations, he wasn't kidding. The show is also set to introduce a bigger Bowden family, where Lily Coleus will be playing their daughter, Natalie, and Joe Anders, their son, Zach. I understand that it sounds like Nick is going in a different direction with all these modifications, and definitely a much larger ensemble cast, but the Conjuring famed Wilson has assured, "I think people will be pleasantly surprised." I was surprised, but I think they'll be really interested. We all dug in and I think brought our A game. There are some fantastic directors, and Nick Antosca is a great showrunner and writer, and we're excited. Given they're giving some serious nods to Scorsese's work, the series will be leaning towards a more slow-burn horror tone, and as Nick has stated in an interview with Inverse, the show to me is about ambient dread. It reflects the atmosphere of being alive in 2026 with its uncertainties and ambiguities and paranoia. This new take on MacDonald's tale will have way more time to explore the subtler ways Cady's return slowly builds fear and starts tearing apart what looks like a perfect tight-knit family. And honestly, that tracks, because Nick has also stated it's a very paranoid show. We should either feel like we're watching voyeuristically or feel paranoid that we're being watched. The children will most likely get their own arcs in the series instead of just being Cady's targets, which adds a whole new emotional layer to the story, and that's where things get interesting. With a longer time frame, there's clearly going to be more action, some of which we've already caught glimpses of in the teaser, more bloodshed, and definitely a lot more people getting pulled into this mess than ever before. Maybe friends, maybe someone close to the kids. We don't fully know yet, but the teaser hints that the world is going to be much bigger than what we've seen before. So yeah, this reboot is shaping up to be a far more complex than a straightforward revenge story, and if you're revisiting a classic like this, those bold changes are probably risky, but exactly what we need. Alright guys, that's all for today. Will this new Cape Fear stick to the original formula or completely flip the script with some wild new twists? We'll have to wait and watch, and I'm definitely hopeful, especially after watching Javier Bardem in action, who has probably traded the cigars for heart-shaped sunglasses. The first 2 episodes drop June 5th, 2026, followed by new episodes every Friday through July 31st, and I honestly can't keep calm. Do let us know how excited you are to see Cady creating chaos all over again after all these years. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that bell icon, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.